What? That's weird.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wildly Uninteresting podcast. This is episode 45 of the Wildly Uninteresting podcast. If you are caught up until now, we greatly appreciate that. But if not, go eat a dick.
Fuck you.
Yeah. So much for that 30-second rule.
Fuck off.
Oh, well, you know.
Monetizations for homos.
Yeah, man. Well, welcome to the show. I'm Adam, as always. This is Ian, as always. And that's Sarah, the beautiful Sarah.
Hi, I'm pretty.
On this episode,
That's why I'm here.
we want to shit on baby boomers. Shit all over their faces.
So if you're a baby boomer, give us a call so we can take a dump on you.
Yeah, so we can hang up on you and call you a bitch.
Punk ass bitch. Yeah, man. Did you do any reading up on the subject?
I did.
No. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I didn't send you anything. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, I'm going to send you all this
Yeah,
stuff.
man, thanks for not sending me anything.
And like didn't.
It definitely helps.
But hey, if it helps though, millennials are known for procrastination. I found that out. Procrastination though is actually a useful tool in getting things done.
Now I don't even feel special in my procrastination.
You shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm just a product of my generation.
That's right.
I've been told.
Which was a surprise to find out I was a millennial. But
It's weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we were always bitching about like kids in their 20s.
I thought it was weird that I was a millennial, so it's even weirder that you are.
So did you ever look up what the age group was for millennials?
I sure can. Hold on.
Look that up. But anyway, procrastination.
Yeah.
I read in this book.
Right?
Do I sound smart yet?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Read in this book that procrastination is actually a useful tool for people who wait until the last second. They're actually more creative in their thoughts, right? Than people who think the entire time, who start right when the project, let's say, is due.
Yeah.
They start doing like normal everyday ideals, kind of like what is it called when they're just
A boring fuck.
It's what everybody would choose it. It's predictable.
Yeah.
The predictable choice.
It's that common shit.
Yeah. And where procrastinators will think outside of the box in that hurry mind state.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that, man. I don't know how true that
Seems
is. 'Cause
reasonable.
I've been a procrastinator my whole life.
I just use it as a means of motivating myself. Because like until I have to do something, I don't give a fuck.
You don't do it until you're like,
Yeah.
it's game time.
Yeah. It's like, oh shit, if I don't do this, I'm doomed. So then I do it.
When is it like it's time to do it? If it's something that you're doing for yourself, when are you motivated to like, let's get it done now?
Probably never.
Never?
Yeah.
If it's just for you, why not?
Yeah, if it's just for me, fuck it. I'll find something else to make me temporarily happy.
Yeah.
But if it's like a formal thing, then it just depends on how much I have to do.
Yeah. That's when like working on shit like that, like music or anything, when it comes to like my shit, I'm trying to learn how to down myself in my mind, be like, oh, you're a piece of shit for not getting up and doing what you're supposed to.
You're learning how to do that?
Yeah, man.
All right, cool.
I don't know. Did y'all's parents like really drill it into your head to like do it now? I guess
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as you get home, do your homework.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that can backfire, I guess.
Get a bill comes in, pay it.
Yeah.
It's
Bill
the
comes in, pay it.
fucking one of the mottos right there.
Hell yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a procrastinator, but I'll get really anxious right before whatever's due. And I'm going to tell you right now, in college, I did some really like serious rabbit out of the hats, if you will.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pulled some rabbits out of the hats. But I would fall back on like talent. So like if I didn't want to do something for music class, I would just like bring in my guitar and play some shitty song from Dave Matthews and be like, how do you all feel about this song? You know,
How do you feel?
make it a presentation.
Tell me your feelings.
The teacher hated it because she
That's
knew I
so-
didn't do anything.
I know we did have that really drilled into our head, when you get home, do homework. Like it was just always do this immediately. But I don't remember really like high school how I was. I feel like I was on top of my shit, but I know in college I very much was a procrastinator.
High school, I would just do it all like the morning it was due.
Yeah. I could never do that. I still can't do stuff like that. I need to read and it takes me forever to do stuff. I might procrastinate, just like when I was, before I came on to the company, you know, we were supposed to type a note every time you meet with someone. Instead of doing it as soon as I met with them,
You let it add all the way
I'd
up.
wait until Friday and be like, okay, well, I'm going to do 46 notes, which
Yeah.
is fucking insane because they're like 30 minutes a piece. Like, yeah. And then I just couldn't understand why my notes were never done. Like, what?
Yeah. That's probably why I dropped out of college though, for procrastinating. I was just so tired of that like feeling of, oh shit, you're gonna like fail. So I just quit. I was like, hey, they can't say I failed, right?
Shit, you wouldn't have failed either.
You know what? Something else that I've been reading up is called resistance. They call it resistance. Anything that like if you're a drug addict and other than being the fullest potential, right, of yourself, it's called resistance. Anything. So anything like if you procrastinate, that's resistance. If you make excuses, that's resistance. If you choose to do drugs instead of, you know, that initial like good feeling instead of doing the hard work, that's resistance.
Anything other than just fucking doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Resistance. Did I say it enough?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Resistance.
Well, I have this problem with the band because like we've been playing the song for like I'd say at least a year. I still haven't finished the words. I just make them up every time.
Do you make them up on stage?
Yeah.
You know, there are like 4 or 5 great songs, and American Woman is one of them.
Yeah.
That they wrote on stage. Like they wrote that at Woodstock, if I'm not mistaken.
It's
On
fucking
stage,
funny.
all of the words, and then they had to go back and watch videos to remember what they said. And it's either on the stage at Woodstock or they just did it in the studio one time, and the dude was like, The Who, right? Yeah, The Who.
I don't know who the fuck did it.
Come on, man. I think it's The Who. But I think they either did it in the studio or whatever. But Sarah, look it up and get the facts because this is a fact-based podcast. This
Right.
week is a fact-based podcast.
So the
Now,
millennial age range
never
is
been on.
23 to 38.
Oh, 23 to 38.
Yeah, so
I'm-
all of us are.
I'm a millennial. Fuck my life. Well, I kind
You
of
worthless
guess that.
fuck.
I thought you all were like Generation Z or X. I thought that's what y'all were.
Whatever, man. It's all stupid. Oh, you guys fit in this generation. You guys are this. Who gives a shit?
You think they do that to like that way they have something to complain about with each generation? They're like, well, we're gonna fucking blame it on them.
Whenever there's a line drawn in the sand, we know where it is.
You know what? They group the entire generation before baby boomers. It's the silent generation.
Oh, I thought it was the greatest generation.
No,
They call
baby
them that
boomers.
as well. They
I don't
also
know
call
shit.
them, yeah.
No,
God,
They
AKA.
also
Hey.
call them World War II generation.
Yeah, the baby boomers
clever.
are the greatest generation, but the silent generation is everything before World War II.
We was scared of Hitler.
We were
Interesting.
scared of it.
That's our defining
We were scared of the
characteristic.
Black Plague.
Let's see.
Plague.
Mental. I guess I should actually have the years. Millennials 81 to 96. That's I feel like is better because
when you were
your
born.
age changes. So yeah,
Yeah, that's
They-
true. Listening to this like 10 years from now.
right.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm a millennial.
I thought I was a millennial.
But no,
shit.
millennials get a
boomer
lot of shit talked about them. So we're trying to like turn the tables and talk a little bit of shit about the baby boomers. Because I have a feeling there's a reason that the millennials are a piece of shit.
I'm actually
because-
going to defend the boomers.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Because we were raised by boomers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think they set us up for failure. But I will
Did
agree with
they?
them in the fact that millennials are a little lazy. We think everything should be given to us, but there's a reason for that. I think the boomers taught
Gave
us
us
to be that
everything.
way.
Yeah, I would say we were, we were all raised by someone. So like, yes, to a certain extent, at a certain point, how you act and how you are is you. It's up to you. Like you can change and not be a fucking asshole, or you can not. But for just general like entitlement and stuff, like you're raised that way. So
Yeah.
that's why you're that way. So it's your fucking parents' fault for that shit.
Nah, man.
Fault.
Absolutely. We were assholes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I
we were
mean,
given anything and everything
well,
we
as
wanted.
a kid, I think, yeah, it's like, ooh, that's, whatever. But as you grow up, if you stay that way, then you're a fuckface.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
what
just
I'm
make
saying.
excuses.
At a certain point, it's on you. But it's exactly what I just said. Fuck you.
That
You don't
sounded
listen
different.
to me. It sounded different because it was coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the same thing.
I'd say that I understood it more coming out of Ian's mouth.
I'm sure
My
you
man.
did.
Saying,
Yeah, his dick talks better than my vagina.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I do find him more articulate than most people I come across.
Look at that silence. That was awesome. That was a good stare down. No, but no, in general, I think that the baby boomers set us up for failure. And something strange, I thought that they had calculated the last
Hang on.
65-year-old.
When you say set us up for failure, do you mean like intentionally? Or
No.
like their stupid ass decisions kind of led to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that they, we were reading, which there was a lot of information to take in
There's
as far as
so
what they did.
much stuff that has been written about baby boomers being just shit.
Yeah, because you got to take into account like what they did to the government. They took over their, I don't know, I'm going to sound like a fucking idiot doing it, but there was so much that they did as far as taxes and our benefits, and that they're going to reap all the benefits, but the burden of those benefits fall on us
Right.
to pay for.
Right.
But not only,
But then is it really like, can we say, ooh, let's blame the boomers? Why not just blame shitty politicians for making shitty policies?
Because
But the
the
baby
boomers-
boomers are the politicians.
yeah,
True,
Not
but
only
they're
are they-
not. But not all boomers are politicians.
That is true. I mean,
It's like-
I
but-
assumed going into this that we're not talking like, it's not like a blanket statement that all baby boomers fucking suck.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's the
you gotta-
feeling I get like from society.
Oh yeah, but it's another blame
Currently.
game though,
Society
right?
can suck it.
It's another blame game when it comes to that. Like of course, millennials are like, fuck that. We got to blame it on somebody.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I fucking hate that so much.
talking about the politicians, I think there was a lot of baby boomers that, voted those politicians in. And I think, what did it say? Every president from George Bush Sr. on was a baby boomer or some shit like that. He's part of that generation.
Reagan
I
was the
don't know.
first one to be.
No shit.
I mean, he wasn't a boomer, but he was the first president that the boomers elected in.
Right.
And
Okay.
then, that just seems silly though.
Yeah. I was looking into like the U.S. like federal debts and stuff,
Yeah.
and Reagan had the fucking worst just deficit as far as I could find, because I went from I think FDR through to Trump, and Reagan's was 186% increase of debt. That's insane. It was
Yeah.
$1.86 trillion that he rang up. I mean, everyone does like a trillion. It seems to be the general consensus is that it's just always going to be a trillion, whatever. But
I know
Trump,
it-
I think, has had several trillion.
Oh yeah,
They're
he's-
expecting another trillion. Yeah.
Well, see, though, I know that in business, to make money, you have to take out a large amount of debt
Right.
to make a lot of money. That's how they make their money. And that's how they don't pay taxes on that money, is because it's all debt required, right?
Right.
So maybe that's why Trump is the most, because he's taking out massive debt to make a massive amount of money. I think really when it comes down to it, he's treating the office like it's a business instead of treating it like it's there for the people, right? Maybe?
Well,
Maybe not.
I mean, yeah, but for a while it's been a business. It's just
Yeah.
how it's been looked at,
It's
like
certainly
for better or for worse.
it makes sense to me that it would be ran as a business because, like, you have to. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. That's just how it is, and he's not the only one to have ever done this, but to like decrease taxes and increase spending and then just expect money to appear out of nowhere.
Well,
makes
that's
no
why
sense.
they don't-
Essentially, everyone
They don't
has
have any
done
money
that.
for benefits and for Social Security and Medicare is because they didn't pay enough taxes in. They wanted all these tax breaks, and none of that went towards the benefits that now we have to shoulder, which won't be there for us when we get there. You know what I mean?
Plus, it doesn't
Likely,
help that there
anyway.
are more of them than there are of us.
Yeah, a substantial amount. But they're gonna die soon, so that's something
Will
to
they?
look forward to. Maybe
like
not.
they won't.
Necessarily, I was going to say they could live another 30, 40 years.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Hey, that I looked it up. The last baby boomer will turn 65 and retire in 2029. I did see that.
Damn, that's
2029.
crazy.
So then you're gonna feel the full effect of that burden. The full effect of climate change is coming in what 2050 is what they said. Could be sooner than that. You get the full effect of that because they burned all those goddamn fossil fuels. Didn't look for a greener option.
Right?
Yeah.
And they never
didn't think-
didn't give a fuck. They're
No.
like, fuck it.
And they also didn't think that smoking causes cancer. But
Yeah.
we know now it
And
does.
that seems weird with them being hippies, too.
I know, man.
Mm-hmm.
How can the hippie generation not give a fuck about the environment?
It makes me wonder if they just, because there's a lot of education and knowledge that has come in the last, 50 years. So, like, perhaps they just didn't know. I mean, yes,
Right.
all these things have occurred, and we can say
We can blame it on them, but
we can blame it on them, but they just simply probably didn't know necessarily. I mean, maybe. I don't know, like, the year of when everything was founded or anything like that. I don't know when this knowledge hit Earth, but...
well, see, and you're right. As far
Taped
as the
to an
consumer
asteroid.
and the consumer and the voter goes, there's a lot that was learned through these companies that ruined America that wasn't presented. They hid a lot of it. They still do hide a lot of what they do behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So how do you expect the consumer to know? We don't even know still. So I guess I can jump on board with what you're saying. Like, they just pulled the veil over their eyes.
See,
long
I
enough.
think a thing that kind of highlights how fucked up things can be and like suppression of knowledge and shit is there are these reflective vests at work. But thanks to like regulation in California, they have to put on the packaging that some of the materials have been known to cause cancer. Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's like, here you go, man. Go out there and direct traffic in this cancer vest. Yeah,
Keep
happily.
people safe.
And you have to wear it
Don't
too.
hug anyone.
Like OSHA fines you for not wearing
yeah.
it, so you gotta get this.
I
cancer
refused
vest
to.
on.
I immediately threw it in the trash.
Hell yeah.
Fuck this vest.
That shit's just goofy.
So they knowingly make the material from carcinogenic.
Yeah. God forbid
Chemicals.
they change the materials.
No, man. Well, that goes
We
back.
gotta keep the medical field alive.
Even
treating
like
cancer and
I
shit.
know.
Teflon, they've known for 20 years, 30 years that
Yeah.
it causes cancer and it never leaves the body. Yet they still produced it. And even when they like cut down on it in like 2018, they changed like one chemical, like one little like hydrogen atom, and they were like, there you go. And it's the same fucking chemical.
It's better now
It's the same
because
thing.
we don't have any studies to prove that it causes birth defects.
Yeah, but see, here's what has to happen. Like they have to, so now there's going to be another 10 to 20 year period where they're going to fight back and forth. Does it cause cancer? Let's do all this testing that we,
Right.
you know, it's
It buys them another 10 years though, and then
right.
well, once it's all settled, cool. Well, we'll change one more fucking
you remember bath
atom
salts?
again.
You remember bath salts?
Like
How
the
they-
drug or actual?
the
okay,
drug.
yeah. Oh yeah, because they kept
kept
saying it was
changing it.
illegal, so they take it off the shelves and then they change one
Just a
thing
little
and
bit.
put it
Yeah.
back out there.
And then
I like that mentality.
just a little tweak to it.
Stick it to the man, you know.
Then you have some wild
No.
guy eating a face in Florida.
And I say when it comes
Damn
to
I
like
miss
the
that.
The
drugs,
good days.
I'm totally fine with it. I agree. I like the mentality. But when it comes to like the Teflon thing, it truly pisses me off because then they're dumping everything in the water.
In the water, that's
and then
what kills
everyone's
me.
drinking. And you're not telling anyone. You're actually directly lying and saying it doesn't
Paying people
cause
off.
anything. You
Yeah.
were fine to drink this water. Like that
We have new
fucks me up.
environmental regulations.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I like that there's like 20 cancer-causing chemicals in water, right? But then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, it's 3 parts per billion. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
like,
yeah.
but over the course of 30 years, will I be fine?
Absolutely.
Probably not.
Well, what if I just drink only water all day long? You don't know how much fucking water I drink.
If I lightly flick your eyeball once a day,
Once a day.
you know, it's not that bad, but
Eventually, you'll go blind.
yeah.
Damn it, man.
It's
gonna
fucking
pop.
awesome. That's fucking awesome. One of the
Gotta.
things that I was reading about baby boomers was advice from baby boomers. And apparently Reddit had like a thread
This'll
where
be good.
people could
I
write
love
in
Reddit.
there. If I could read all of these, I would. I mean, I'm capable of it. I just don't think that would make for a good podcast.
Are you though?
Capable-ish. So many of them are fantastic, though. Let's see. So this one's fun because it always bothers me when people talk shit about being on your phone. And it's not advice. This one's not advice, but it still applies.
It's just shit slinging.
Yeah. So I take out my phone to send a quick text at a family function. My elderly relative looks up from her 3-hour Candy Crush session to loudly complain about how millennials are always on their phones and don't know how to live without technology, but what she's doing is important. This is basically like everything that they're doing is important business, and everything that we do is it's like we're obsessive, basically.
Never mind the fact that on average, by the time boomers were 16, they'd watch 12,000 hours of TV.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well, then, because if you put it that way, wasn't the TV pretty much the computer now? Like back
Yes,
then?
absolutely.
Yeah, 'cause
Atari
they were all
was
just
the
watching the
PlayStation
same
4.
shit. And I mean, if you wanted, you could argue that it was like a cultural, societal thing, you know? Because, I mean, there were like 3 networks. So you watch something and you can, you know, you have your little water cooler talk and then
Yeah.
you're accepted among the herd, you know?
Right.
But
Maybe that's why
Well-
old people always want to talk to me about sports, knowing that I don't do sports. Like I've told my
Well, I mean,
dentist
you're
a
a
million
dude.
times. I'm like, I don't ever watch
Right.
any sports. I hate them, actually. I hate watching them. And every
there
time I
should
go
be
to
like
dentist,
recreational raping. Like, I think that would be a fun sport.
I'd watch it. I'd watch it for sure.
Oh, shit.
No, but every time, dude, and what he'll do is he waits until my mouth is completely wide open and he has all the tools inside my mouth, and then he'll ask me questions about U of L. And I can't answer him for one, and I wouldn't answer him if I could.
Oh, not for losers.
So he rapes me, and I'm the whole time I'm just like, like having to drone on with this guy talking about you. I never understand that. What is that with guys? They want to talk about sport. Like, is it the only thing that
I
they can
don't
talk
know.
about?
Well, because it's
Is that a
easy.
thing? Oh, it's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
can
just
see that.
it's like it's the go-to thing.
Right.
I mean, you can assume that everybody at least has a team that they support,
Yeah.
and then you can bond over it. You can talk mad shit. It's just there you go.
Oh,
It is funny, though,
seems a
because
little pointless.
we'll be out and anyone, pick your person, stranger or someone we've known forever, will come to him and talk to him about sports, and he couldn't tell you who. You could say a name and he wouldn't know if they play golf, football,
Guitar.
yeah, exactly.
a
He'd have no
painter?
idea, but they won't look at me. They won't talk to me about it because I couldn't possibly know anything.
No.
No, well, they don't want to run the risk of getting into conversation about the WNBA.
Right? I don't know anything about the WNBA.
Nobody does.
Crazy thing though, I could not get over that I didn't know this, that Kobe Bryant died. I could not.
Wow.
I had no idea.
Way to
Through
be
the cracks.
disconnected.
Look, and
I'm
I
kinda
had
jealous of
been
that.
on Facebook so much that whole week. I'd been on his Facebook and like the company stuff and never saw it. The 1 week that I'm on social media like a motherfucker, still didn't see like the breaking news.
I watched all those motivational videos, and they had a million Kobe Bryant motivational video, and then they had one of him playing the piano and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know why they had a bunch of Kobe Bryant motivational stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, when somebody told me, I was completely shocked. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, like, hey, Kobe Bryant's dead. What? No.
No.
Shut up.
Yeah.
But then back to my daily routine, I'm like, I was cool without the knowledge, so I'll just act like you didn't tell me.
Around
Right.
work, there's like a little miniature basketball goal thing, you know, for like funsies, you know.
Funsies.
And every time I shoot, you know, I'm always like, Kobe, you know. But
Yeah.
and like for a few days after he died, like I missed every shot.
Oh, man.
Like, what the hell?
It's a sad, tragic day in paper ball.
I
Paper
know.
trash ball.
That's fucking crazy. Aw.
Poor
That's so
Kobe.
sad. We gotta let his soul rest now.
Yeah.
You gonna pick someone new to say?
No.
No.
Nope. Stick with
Bosh.
Kobe.
I know. I love it.
Not a
Or I
sports
could
guy,
just
man.
like every time I fall, I'll just make it bigger than it needs to be. I say LeBron.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to the
You
whole,
understand that, right? Al?
Oh, I'm just over here like these motherfuckers are talking about sports.
not
So
really.
I've learned how to zone out
Not really.
immediately.
Zone defense.
That's right. You get it.
Somebody talks about basketball and it's zoned out. Like,
To be fair, you
butterflies
do
in
look
my
like a
head.
sports fan, though.
Oh, that's
Which it's really funny to me because when we, we met, he was incarcerated, so we wrote each other, or I wrote him, and we talked on the phone quite a bit, and I always was watching wrestling or basketball. So
yeah.
that's what I always talked to him about. I did it. I assumed he knew something about it, one of them at least, and always constantly talked about it. And he probably never fucking knew what I was talking about. Didn't know a wrestler, didn't know a basketball player, nothing. Had no idea.
Yeah.
Nope, I was just interested. Like, oh, yeah.
You
No,
see,
actually, though, in prison, there's not much else to do, and you only have one TV. No matter where you go, unless you go to, like, upstate, and then you have your own personal television, if you can afford it, right?
Yeah.
There's only one. And there's everybody else in the place, 50 other dudes want to watch basketball or the game that's on, so you're kind of left to your own devices. So you either do that or read. So every now and then I would catch them. And then depending
Put
on
on
where you go,
Adventures in Hollywood.
depending on where you go, there's a guy that always watches wrestling in prison
Hell
and in
yes.
jails.
That's
There's always one
awesome.
guy that wants to watch it. So I got
Put it
lucky
on,
in that.
brother.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely in Floyd County.
Oh,
there
that's
would-
where it was
yeah.
mostly. Yeah.
I'm saying that's where it was when we met. That's where he was. So maybe he knew a little bit of what I was talking about.
I watched Ready to Rumble twice this week.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Did you know that? Did you know that WWE's stock is down, and they're considering getting rid of the network?
I didn't know that they were considering getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I was reading a thing today about how there's some troubles and shit.
Really?
Well, they need to stop having a bunch of wrestlers come in that just have like regular names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are so boring.
Yeah.
Without the novelty of a character, it's like, well, who gives a shit?
Even their live shows have been getting kind of
Yeah.
like
It's
the
like,
people
oh,
they bring.
here's a dude with a stupid name that thinks he's hard. Oh, he's wearing black trunks. Imagine that.
Yeah. I feel like they got too invested in expanding the brand. So, like when
Or referring to it as a brand.
yeah, no shit. When we would go to live shows, I don't know if they did this when you would go with us or not, but they have that was it 209? It's like an internet
Oh,
thing.
Yeah.
They would
I think they
have
did it at SmackDown.
yeah.
Yeah.
They would
Terrible.
have like a whole fucking hour of their filming that shit during their live shows, and it's stuff
Yeah,
that no
man.
one gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
Like film it at the end so we can choose if we want to leave or not. But they would do it, of course, right before like the big match. So I'm not going to leave because then I don't get to see Roman Reigns.
That's how they trick you into it, make
Yeah.
you look like there's an audience.
It's so fucking stupid.
I never get that. Another thing I never get is that wrestling got so watered down and it's not like it used to be, and they don't really slam people anymore. They don't jump off the top rope except for like every now and then, and if they do, it's like the softest landing. They don't do backflips off, a 12-foot ladder anymore. They don't do that. For some reason, they just don't do it anymore.
Too
Well,
many people.
they try to stick to the pay-per-view with that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so they'll still do it if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
See,
if they're
that's
doing
bullshit.
it week in and week out, it's like, well, that's not really exciting anymore.
It's probably why their stock is down.
It's like if you're watching porn, you can't just watch the most hardcore shit all the time.
Be desensitized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking ruining it.
Sometimes you have to think, hey, that's a cute dress. All right.
Nice dress.
Going back to the TV thing with the baby boomers, I wanted to say this because talking about how it's just kind of like, part of it, it's like culture, or I don't remember how you worded it, but
That didn't matter.
it's like that with the internet though. Like the internet is that to millennials now because it's the new thing. It's not new now, but
Yeah. It's actually quite old, and like the kids,
kids.
they have their own means, but people are stuck in the the Facebook thing. I saw a thing that made me laugh. It was like the generation that said, don't believe everything you read on the internet is now believing everything on the internet.
Hell
Everything.
yes.
Yeah.
They make up the biggest majority on Facebook. They are who's on Facebook.
That's
Baby
awesome.
boomers.
But it's just, it's
Believing
crazy.
all of it.
I get so much shit for like not having social media. And because it is such like an integral part of our society anymore, every time someone finds out I don't have social media, they call me, I'm like their grandma or whatever.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I'll smack you like your grandma should have.
Yeah.
You worthless fuck.
I don't know, man. I don't understand Facebook as much as I thought I used to, or Instagram for that matter. Like the point of it. Remember back when it first came out, and everybody was like, "Who the fuck wants to know if your spaghetti's good on a Sunday night?" You know what I mean? They didn't care about that, but it just got like a snowball effect. It got worse and worse, and you tell them every single second of your life, and then people think you care, and then they ended up caring,
Right.
and then you could advertise,
Who's
and then you
caring?
can make money.
They
Like-
ended up as her.
Now-
It's got to be important.
Now that you can make money, people, that's what they're going after. Is like, so they're not providing a service or anything. They're not providing none of that. All they're providing is some dumbass pictures of a good life. And then, so people get the choice to either judge it harshly
Man.
or love them for it and get motivated falsely
Right.
and take that motivation and do nothing with it. And that person gets paid for those views. Like, it's such a weird world that you live in. So, of course, you have millennials who think, like, oh, I'm just going to play video games and make money. Or I'm just going to post this shit online, this dumb shit. Because I watch motivational video. Well, then these people that are coming up in the motivational field, it's almost like they're reading exactly what Les Brown and Tony Robbins have put down already, and they're just like reading it in a monotone voice, and people are listening to them just like because people can't get enough of bullshit.
Yeah, they just
Take the pussy off the pedestal. Put yourself on the pedestal.
That's right.
Shit. I think, when we were younger, we had like blogs. So Zanga was a thing.
Yeah.
And then, I can't tell you
Which
how.
in retrospect seems silly, but
Oh, I wish I could
Louisville
find
Mojo.
mine. Yes, and Louisville Mojo and MySpace became a thing. I think it's very much a teen thing. And then you could completely, if I were a teenager and had a Facebook, hell yeah, I'd be posting fucking spaghetti and all kinds of shit on there because your friends like that stuff. Like
Yeah.
you're so,
it's of the time.
yeah, you are just, everything you do, you want to be around your friends because that's what you do at that age.
Yeah.
And just as an adult, you're just like, man, I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
Unless you're an
People-
adult who hasn't grown up. But
People change in their own ways, and then it's like, well, I'm no longer interested in that anymore.
yeah,
And
I do.
it just becomes like a security blanket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Why do you think baby boomers make up the most of it? Is it that they want to like get in touch with old friends that they haven't seen in 60 years? Or-
Yeah, it's easier because I mean, people lose numbers, people get new numbers, all that shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, they're just, it makes
I
I can
sense.
see that.
I think too, and trying to not fall behind on the times. So like at least if they understand how to do that, because everything is moving so quickly anymore.
Right.
I mean, you say well, but it's for someone who doesn't understand like how anything works.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. Like the week that I was on Facebook all the time, I'm looking for a fucking desk. I couldn't figure out how to do some shit, and I've had a Facebook before.
I'm that way with
couldn't-
Twitter. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this?
It just
seen
didn't
that.
make sense to me. So I can't imagine being someone who didn't grow up with this, trying to figure the shit out. It would be scary.
I saw
mean,
that
And I look down it.
the boomers have started to catch on to TikTok.
oh
Oh,
shit.
And
shit.
like the young people are all unhappy. They're like, well, it's dead now.
Yes.
Ain't that funny how when they get onto it, it's just like, fuck this.
Yeah, moving to the next spot.
Yeah.
Waiting
That's,
for someone to create something new.
And that's the thing,
Look at the guy
too.
over there. Mm.
Parents are, which a lot of parents don't give a shit, and they stop watching their kid, and then their kid ends up like in child pornography and all that shit. But it gives the parent more power to watch their child, see what they're doing, who they're talking to. And kids don't fucking like that. I didn't
Right.
like that. nobody I knew liked that. So
No.
of course, like the parents are gonna get on that shit.
Fuck yeah.
And then but now even like older people are trying to monetize their social medias and what they're doing, but nobody's offering a service.
Right.
Like pick your shit up and go offer a service, and then come back and then get on Facebook and talk about some real shit.
Right.
You know, that empty conversation sucks dick. Dicks
Yeah.
Dicks.
in the mouth. I don't know, man. That's how I feel about social media. No, and I only feel that way, and I'm not trying to be pretentious because I stopped doing, that as much.
Stopped doing that.
As
As
much.
much.
But it is a better feeling knowing that you're not tied down. And then I'm telling you, this shit is like a drug because every now and then I'll upload it onto my phone to fucking do videos. And I swear to God, I have to pull myself away from it. Because it's that we're addicted to judging. We're addicted to feeling like shit about ourselves. Like you go through and then Karen is fucking like, has her own business and shit. Now you feel like a piece of shit. That's an addictive feeling. That feeling of like, self-sabotage is an addictive feeling. So we get addicted to that. You get addicted to judging and feeling better, superior to somebody. So I don't know, man. Where do you think it's going to go after TikTok? That's one. You make some money if you figure out what's the next little thing.
I feel like you could make essentially the exact same thing, give it a different name, maybe have like
Ain't that what they've been doing?
one thing different that like the other things don't offer.
TikTok is pretty much just Vine.
Vine.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like they didn't
ready.
even. I was geared
Vine.
up, dude. Yeah. I wanted to be a part of that so bad.
It
Thank you for
reminded me
letting
of
be a
that
part
dude
that.
in Lost in Translation.
Yeah.
It's like Bill Murray's all like, for a good time, make it Centauri time. And like the dude chimes in. He's like a Japanese dude. He just chimes in with Tori time.
That's fucking awesome.
No.
Oh,
That's all you
shit.
gotta do though. Change it up, tweak it just a little bit, put a different name on it, and a different because they brand everything now. So you gotta have a different. Like, what's your angle with TikTok? I think it's that you can put the music along with it all in the one app, and then cut it and splice it right there. Where Vine didn't really do that as well. You could just
Again,
keep taking video.
That's what I just said.
No, I know. No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm going in depth of what they changed.
No one's listening to me.
I just
Like,
hate it whenever
you didn't
people
say
start
that, like,
talking
what they
about
changed.
Yeah, I
like
did it all
brands and
first.
stuff because like everybody chimes in with their brand is on you got to keep your message on brand and shit. It's like, get the fuck away
say
from
on brand.
yeah.
On brand, yeah. You got to think
So
of
really-
like you got to think Gary Vaynerchuk for some of that because it's all about building the brand now. And then like, what's your signature? And then what's your logo? And like, people have to recognize
Yeah,
you.
but then people are just regurgitating the same crap and they don't even
They
really know what
are.
it means.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, so
and
many
that's why
people.
I want to choke people out.
We and they're even doing it on Hulu. So we've noticed lately, we'll go on there and say Vice puts on a thing about anti-vaxxers, right? Well, then there's already queued up, like the next day
Yeah.
will be another special from some other company about anti-vaxxers with the same people in it.
And say that it literally happened today.
And that's yeah.
We watched a thing about anti-vaxxers, and then we were enjoying our new bed that we got, and like literally enjoying it. We weren't like doing it in the bed. We were sitting there, and I was like, "Do you want to watch TV?" So I turned on Hulu, and I said, "Is this the one that you were?" It wasn't. I said, "Is this the one that you were watching?" No, because it was not in like keep watching. Nope, it was a totally different one.
What about
in
that
the
weird-
same day?
What about that weird shit that happened? Like Kobe Bryant died on like the 5th.
Sunday.
And then like they had a memorial video or whatever queued up on the 5th.
Dude,
It's like they already had it in the wings.
yeah,
waiting.
it came on. I was like, why is there this big thing about Kobe? And then 6 days later, I found out he was dead, and I was like,
How'd they make this whole series about
Is-
Kobe in like a
yeah,
day?
dude. Like, did this just so happen to be when they finished the story about Kobe, or like
kinda- the
what's
timeline worked out
going
for 'em.
on? Yeah, and like they just
Fogged
threw a new
my
title
ass.
on it. Yeah,
They took him out.
I mean, it makes you wonder.
Never
Makes me
know,
wonder.
man. They're like, we need to make a quick buck. My grandma needs a
See
new pair of
Shaq talking
orthopedics.
about him.
No.
It was touching.
Oh,
He
okay.
got all bummed out and shit.
I'll look
Did he
it up.
cry?
Of course he did.
I'd like to hear Shaq cry.
Some big tears.
Big old man tears, big old fist. Yeah, man.
Oh,
And
shit.
it was kind of nice because Charles Barkley didn't make fun of him during it.
Ah,
I kind of
that's
figured he
sweet.
would.
That's so sweet.
Oh, shit.
But it's a weird thing, and the brand thing is it's ridiculous. But they have multiple people doing the same shit, regurgitating the same shit, and that's what kills me about the motivational videos. Like, that's all bullshit when it comes down to it. Like, motivation is bullshit. Like, you're not gonna do nothing with it. You're gonna go fucking, like, for one day, you're gonna be amped up, and then you're gonna do nothing and go back to being a piece of shit, worthless as fuck on your couch. Like, just deal with it. Be okay with that. Don't fucking, like, and you gotta love the people that get on there on Facebook, like, new year, new me, new today, new beginnings.
Yeah.
And then, like, tomorrow they'll be like, fucking life sucks. And
Uh-huh.
then you gotta love the people that put on there like, my day's terrible, or I'm gonna end it all, or whatever. And you
Do
know they're
it.
just
Yeah.
that's what you want to do, because you know they're just fucking with you. You know they're just like having a bad day.
They want attention.
Well, I mean,
want
that
that
is what I
attention.
do, though.
Yeah.
Or they're like, don't ask at the end of it. Don't ask.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
pussy.
cool.
Yeah.
Talk to me when you're manic.
We don't
please.
post.
But so many
shit.
people doing the same thing, building that brand, man. I got a brand. Did you see the hoodie? Look at that brand.
Hell yeah.
Get at me. Get at me.
It's awesome. Oh, shit. I think, though, with the social media thing, I think that the baby boomers are, and I can't get my legs, okay, are involved in it to keep in touch with, like, their family and shit. I feel like so many, like, young people they're having babies and shit, so, you know, aunts and grandmas and great-grandparents and shit, they all get on there so they can see all the babies or pictures of their babies that are posted and shit like that.
Here's a statement. For all you that post pictures of your baby, go
Stop
fuck
it,
yourself.
dude. No one gives a fuck.
yourself.
Fat
Fuck
wolf.
yourself.
God.
Go fuck yourself.
Especially if your baby's ugly, you need to fucking quit.
Go die somewhere.
See that your baby's ugly and
We're
fucking
just
stop
playing about the
pitch.
dying part.
Become
But
an
hey,
advocate for child plastic surgery.
Yes, please.
just to get a base. I just want to get them
Gosh.
tan just for a base.
Get a base.
But they, you know what? It fucking kills me because all babies do the same shit. They may be like a month apart. Like your kid may walk underneath a year or talk underneath a year. I don't know the timeline. Fuck off. But if I see one more fucking video of Tummy Tom or him rolling from his front to his back or any of that shit, I'm going to lose my mind. Every time I get on there, somebody with their fucking stupid ass kid, they're like, they're so intelligent. No, they're not. They're a fucking baby.
It's a baby. It's
a
pretty
baby.
much stupid
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah, stupid as any other baby
And
in
if
the world.
genetics are any indicator, the kid's going to grow up to be an idiot.
Yeah.
Idiot. It's oh god damn it.
It's
And get on
things like this that make me happy I don't have a Facebook.
Yeah, man. And
Right.
but everybody does it.
So the idea of the boomers, you know, and they came into a nice little economy, you know, it was pretty much set up for them, and it was in place. I do kind of hate the idea that they just kind of squandered it,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's
Well,
Just
annoying.
kind
It
of
goes
let it
back
go to
to-
shit.
But I mean, realistically, what could they do to make it better? Because I mean, I guess objectively speaking, if we base our economic standing on the stock market, then we're at an all-time high.
Right.
So to cut them down seems kind of silly.
Are we at
But
an
at the same
all-time high?
time,
Stock market wise.
yeah,
Stock market wise.
it's like you don't listen to me.
No, I heard that. I just want
It's
to
your
repeat
vagina.
it. I'm just wondering because
I'm gonna drain it of the blood, and then you'll listen.
we're still trillions in debt and only going faster in debt. And
But-
Yeah, but that I've kind of thought, like, we're never gonna have to pay it back. That's why they spend
like
so much
medical
fucking
bills.
money on defense. Like, we're the biggest spender on war shit because we owe so much goddamn money. It's like, come get it, bitch.
But
come on over here.
the thing is,
Come
like, they could even it out. They could fucking take care of it. They could, like, pay
Could
it
have,
down some.
Or we could.
Both.
Both.
Absolutely. Yeah, they could have been doing it all along. Like, increase your taxes and put that money to there.
Nope, you're speaking the language
Oh,
of the
I know.
dead.
You
woman.
can't
But then you
fucking do
raise
it.
tax-
But then it
Taxes.
feels like, I mean, yeah, the politicians happen to be boomers, and a lot of them were voted in by their own kind. but younger people tend to want to complain but not turn out to vote.
Yeah, they don't vote. Yeah.
So, you know.
Because they
part of
don't
the
feel like
fucking
it
problem.
matters, I think, too.
Which is why we should turn
Yeah.
to street fighting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last one standing, you're in office.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's how you get President Camacho.
We'll go.
Awesome idea.
And thinking about, you were saying a lot of the baby boomers were hippies, right?
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, I don't know what I was wondering, but you were saying that. About
I feel like it should make me wonder something.
Yeah.
If they could have changed it in any way, and them squandering it, and I think they did, but I think they were allowed to squander it. Like, oh, that's okay. We'll get them on the back end, right? So if they squander it now, they're going to have to be in mediocre positions where they pay the highest amount of taxes,
Right.
so that the big corporations don't have to pay the taxes.
Right.
So the more employees they have, the less that the company has to spend out in taxes because the employees are taking care of it. So let
Right.
them fuck up. That way they can be in mediocrity the rest of their life. Because there's a false ideal that baby boomers are a rich and wealthy
Right.
people, and they're not
No.
at all. I think now, what was that?
The big thing was that they could buy houses without college education.
Yeah, and all in debt. Like that, they took on a massive amount of debt. And when the after the bubble pop, they had it. 2011 will end up drawing about 200,000 more. Wrong. Sorry, I fucked that
okay.
one up. Okay, I got you right here. They have more discretionary spending income, so they make more, but they don't have net worth, so they weren't good at saving money. So after 2007, when the housing market crashed, the net worth before was 266,000. Now, or not now, but 2010, it was 179,000, so it dropped 30%, and it was only declining after 2010. So imagine where it's at now.
Yeah.
And then if you're saying that the last baby boomer goes at 2029, you're looking at taking care of absolutely all their health care and everything that they fucked up thus far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're taking the full burden of taking care of them and their Medicaid and
Medicare.
Medicare. Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Yeah, it's Medicare.
And Social Security. Yeah.
Yeah.
Medicare and Social. Did I say it right again?
Yes. Yeah, you said it right.
One of those. But so
One
you
of the
we
Medis.
shoulder all that burden, but the government has a funny way of being like, hey, this is for you. This is for your benefit. When you get older, you'll have it when you retire. It's not going to be there.
Right.
It will not. And they didn't teach the millennials how to save, how to do their taxes right, how
Right,
to
how to write a
start a
fucking
company, how to, cook, clean.
I
do
had that.
dishes.
I had that in a class in high school.
Yeah,
It was
I did
business
too.
math.
Damn, that's crazy because I'm not right behind you all, but I'm pretty close to being behind you all. And we didn't have that. They were even getting rid of shop when I got into high school.
Yeah.
But now, see the trades like electrical, drywall, all the trades are declining. Like they have nobody going into the trade, no apprentices, because they took it out of schools and said, you need to go to college.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
And who the fuck wants to do that shit? Like,
Everybody's not made for college.
no. Well, and why in the world would you ever? The cost of education is only increasing, and the pay is not. It is fucking staying steady. So,
Well, yeah, if
who
not
the
declining.
Yeah, who the fuck wants to end up with, depending on where you go, I mean, anywhere from $40,000 to $200,000 in
crazy.
debt just instantly.
And
fuck that shit.
They said most of the jobs that are held by people with a degree are actually entry-level positions that they could have gotten without the degree to begin with. So you're getting an entry level after having $60,000 of debt when you could have been in that position the entire time making money, and then by the time you're in the position you are now,
Right.
instead of owing $60,000, you could have had $100,000 tucked away from all the work you've been doing.
Yeah.
But
Or
no, it's all about school, baby.
or they have fucking entry level jobs that require like a fucking master's degree. So then in those situations, the competition is fierce.
And 6 years of experience.
Yeah. Like how the fuck?
I'm-
It's just insane.
I want to say it one more time because I really fucked up that. I want to say it so that it's correct when it goes out there.
Yeah.
That there's a widely paraded myth that baby boomers have a lot of wealth. They do not. So I'm saying it so everybody can. They do not. They do have more discretionary income than other age groups. But in 2007, before the housing market bubble popped, they had a median net worth of $266,000. By 2010, it shrunk to 33%, $179,000.
So it's decreased for sure.
So it's just increased greed of politicians
Absolutely.
fucking everybody.
Yeah, dude. I just don't know.
I don't think, too, it's the corporation's fault for not paying the tax. Like, that is just, they were saying that they're the ones that voted in lower taxes for corporation owners because the corporation owners were baby boomers. So they were electing in the people in office. The people in office were dropping the taxes for the corporation owners. And then, not only that, but then they moved all industrial jobs overseas. They did that to themselves, and then they complained about it. And because all the old guys
they're like, everything
American.
will be cheaper. Like,
Yeah. And so they're the ones that shipped it all overseas, losing out on all those American jobs. And then they want to complain about it happening. Like, you voted on them. Like, you voted them in.
Yeah. So this is partly your hand. Like,
Yeah. I think not being informed is the baby boomers' fault. And that goes back to the peace movement, the free love movement, and them being just like, fuck the economy. Like, let's just get wild and be young for the rest of our life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's do that. That's sustainable.
Yeah, you get a mediocre country.
Yeah.
Mediocre country that we're just big bullies at this point. Like, we have all this debt. Come get it. You know what I mean?
Come get it.
I think my favorite thing that I read, it came up from one of these advice from a baby boomer, was someone's father, I think, complaining about participation trophies, and the kid being like, it was your people who fucking voted in participation trophies.
Yes.
What
that's
are
just
you
crazy.
talking about? Yeah.
But you don't. I guess you don't. Like me, you don't see your actions. Like when I was doing drugs and robbing people and stuff. Like, I didn't see those as something that was wrong, and I didn't know the consequences of it.
Right.
Then when they gave me 10 years in prison,
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I was, that was wrong, because
Right.
nobody come forth and was like, hey, you're being a fucking
I'm
idiot.
sorry, officer. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
I mean, and that's silly to say because everybody's taught, most people know not to do that. But me, I was taught, like, if you want something, you go get it. By saying that, they meant
By
go
any
work
means
for
necessary.
it. Yeah.
right?
But I took it as, I'm going to go get it, no matter. And, when I became a drug addict, it was like, well, there's only one way, rob
Right.
people, because I can't work a normal job, because half the time I had a warrant out for my arrest. So
Right?
I got to do it some way. This is how. So
It's hard to get on at McDonald's when you're a wanted man.
it is. Somebody told me that they were like, go to treatment. I'm like, if I do, I get locked up. Like, I'm just going to run rampant until they catch me.
Well, and people say go to treatment to a drug addict. Like, it's just that simple.
Oh,
like,
you mean that's all I had to do?
That's how you stop doing drugs. Okay.
I didn't even
Like,
think of that.
Wait,
Yeah,
you mean I can
never.
stop beating my family if I just go to a therapist?
Yeah. How? Tell me how. I need to know everything. It's just stupid.
I wonder if the baby boomers, if they stop like talking trash to millennials, and millennials stop talking trash about the baby boomers and blaming it, cross blame. If we could come up with, because I feel like there's a lot of creativity left in the baby boomers. Even at 65, they
There's
can look
not.
at it.
They're on
You
the
don't think
way
so?
out. No.
You think we're more creative?
No.
No.
I think humanity as a whole is just bland and doomed.
I think we're doomed, that's for sure. I think we've always been doomed.
There was a
Fuck the
study
doomed.
done. A study
Do
was
that again.
Doomed.
All right, sorry.
Yeah. There was a study done on intergenerational dynamics, like within employment, and the baby boomers were found to be the most difficult to work with as well.
God.
Just fucking unaccepting of new ways and
There is
changes.
the kind of thought that I've had where it's like the younger people, they're all, they're seen as like bitching and complaining and shit. Mm-hmm. But I mean, to a degree, it makes sense with the boomers being like the hardest to work with.
Right.
Because I mean, they're just set in their ways and they're like, no, it's like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, but it could be better.
Yeah.
No, it's like this.
This, yeah.
I've seen that personally, man. Teaching a man to do a job a certain way that was substantially faster by all all measures faster. And then they proceeded to do it the hard way because they knew best.
Yeah.
And it's, it was an older gentleman.
Yeah.
So what do you do at that point? Where they're older, they don't want to take, they don't want to take your advice. You're younger and you don't know. They've lived
You don't
a
know
life.
shit.
Yeah.
You
So
haven't
they
lived
do it.
life.
You're so
And-
young.
That
And then out
happened-
of spite, they do it worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That happened on an episode of Scrubs.
Yeah.
Had Dick Van Dyke in it, and he came in and he was doing things the old way.
I don't know that I've seen that one. Huh.
It's good.
Interesting.
Kelso was all upset. He's like, we have new ways of doing this. You can't. The old way is more invasive. It's more risk involved. Stop
Yeah.
doing that. And he's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Old school.
Dude, there's an episode of Grace that's like that too. This dude, his whole shit gets fucking infected, and I mean, it's like borderline lawsuit. And it's Yang. She's flipping her shit like this chick. She needs to retire. She's so old. She doesn't know the new ways. Like, can we please like make her fucking retire? And it's just people.
I still think there's something to learn from older people
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think they have some sort of knowledge.
There's
It's not
still
the
some
right
nuggets in there.
Yeah.
Even if, like, I've always been the type that if you hand me a lesson, right? Say you're scolding me for something, and or you're trying to teach me a certain way, whatever. And then I see your actions and the way you're doing it, and then say
And I
that.
raise you my actions.
Yeah. Like, I don't take the lesson at face value. So if you tell me something, I'm like, I put that into the equation of what else am I doing? And I mesh it all together. And how in your wrong or right way and my wrong or right way can we do it the best way?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't always have to take the lesson at face value. And I think a lot of the baby boomers, you wouldn't take it at face value. You would dig deep into.
They're not the most critically thinking generation. I'll give you that.
No,
Right.
I think they're pretty much like square peg, round hole, just fucking smashing it in.
Plus, they don't
Make it
really
work.
trust science. What's that about?
I don't know. I do
That's
not
true.
know. Maybe it's just because it's changed so much. Like, I'm sure, I don't know what kind of science was taught in the fucking 60s and shit, but it's definitely changed drastically since
Everything
then.
is stardust.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they feel like they've been lied to their entire life and the veil's been pulled over so many times that they're like, well, that's going to change tomorrow.
I
Like,
think,
no worries about
I could
it.
just make it through life until I die without changing.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I
they are
don't-
going to the medical field has a great way to keep people alive. I mean, until they're their heart just fucking like, no more, it just jumps out of their chest or their brain's like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the medical field will continuously keep you alive.
Yeah.
So they're going to make that burden a lot harder on us through Medicare because they can keep them alive for longer. Not only that, but they have this huge amount of money
Mm-hmm.
for prescriptions. Who does the burden fall on? Us to pay for what their Medicare doesn't pay for.
Right.
So if we're paying for the Medicare and the abundant amount that Medicare didn't pay for, like, we're doomed.
We're
See,
definitely
it feels like healthcare costs and Social Security tend to be like the main things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like beyond that, it's like, well, I mean, you guys are kind of like annoying at times,
cranky. little
but you
cranky
know,
butts.
Do you think we'll ever pull jobs back like 100%? I think after our allies stop fucking with us and then they're to a point where they're developed enough, they're going to be like, fuck United States and doing all their shit for dirt cheap, right? And then we're going to have to take our jobs back. They're going to have to be like, all right, we'll take them back here. But I know they're doing some stuff that's like made in the USA. And it's always going to be more expensive here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I will never get. I know they have to pay us more, but it's being made here with our materials. How the fuck is
Yeah.
it? How are we losing money here? But I think,
because they're paying more to get it made.
right. I think it's the argument of making 600% profit
Yeah.
compared to 100% profit.
Yeah,
You're still
it is
making a lot of
kinda
money,
that.
but you can't have 2 yachts.
Yeah, like the
and a
idea of
stripper
profits and stuff, it's gotten just way the fuck out of control.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
insane.
It's like, ooh, we can't just make enough to have profit so we can keep the company going. It's
No.
like, if we're not making 1,000% profit and cutting 10% employment,
Yeah.
then we're not doing it right.
Not.
Case in point, we
fucking
bought an
retarded.
adapter, right? No, we bought an adapter for the MacBook, right? Off the internet for $25.
yeah.
We thought that was pretty cool. They sent us this thing that Sarah filled out, was like on point with, that you give them a review and then they'll send you another one, an even better one of your choice. You get to pick. I thought it was a joke. They actually did it. So for
They give you an option
$25,
of 3 different things that they offer.
so for $25, I got 2 of them, right? I went to Walmart to look for an extension cord, right? And I come across the same exact thing that we had bought for $25. It was $80 before tax, and it was just for one with no warranty or nothing, just one. So if that isn't a key to what's going on here,
seriously, yeah. It's insane to me.
it blows me away. And you're right. If it's not 1,000%, it don't make sense to me. And I'm like, if I'm making 100% profit, fuck all the other bullshit. I'm good. I'll go lay down somewhere.
Also, I think it's annoying that the cultural climate is far too accepting of like capitalist greed.
Yes.
So it's like we're not even people anymore. It's just, I'm going to get mine. Fuck y'all.
We're cash machines.
Yeah. This is America. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
Fuck your well-being and your family.
Yeah.
I don't know when that came to be, this just fuck everyone as
That's
long
definitely
as...
the 80s.
You think?
Yeah. I tend to think of Reagan as the one. But I mean, I could be wrong.
I can go with that. Like, I think Reagan fucked a lot of shit up. I think it was funny how Dave Chappelle was like talking about Reagan and just say no to drugs.
Yeah.
But now that the inner city youth, white kids in the suburban neighborhoods and shit are
we gotta
doing it.
take care of this.
We gotta fucking, it's an epidemic. We gotta change
Our
things.
beautiful white children they're being stricken.
Our white babies. Oh no.
I will say though that there's a benefit to so many people not doing that if you choose to do, as far as like a company or making a product or whatever, if you choose to, it's hard as shit to do, but it gives you an advantage because they're not doing it. So eventually you'll need them. Like say I'm an electrician. Because I'm not.
Because you're not, yes.
No, say I'm an electrician and I got to do this where, like, if there's not a lot of people coming in the trade, of course, I can put more value into my company because there's nobody else to do it. Right? If there's nobody answering the phone and I'm the only one that you got and your power's cut off, of course I can charge you whatever. I'm not going to because I'm not a fucking dick sucker, but it is what it is. Another company is going to be $1 million company because of that fact.
For sure.
But they don't think of it as people anymore. You are a person on a submit like a fucking number in a company, and how much can we get them to make so that they can pay the most in taxes and take care of it for us. That way I can buy 2 yachts and a stripper.
I know.
And do cocaine.
Yeah, I mean that mentality makes sense. Because I mean, if you're gonna put in the work and the time and shit to like do what you need to do for you and your family and all that shit. It's like, hey, everybody else has the same opportunity to do this shit, but they're not. So, I mean, I can see it, but at the same time, it's not really helping anything.
Well, and I think, too, like, if nobody else is doing, or few are doing it, like, you don't have to fuck other people over for you to be successful. You just don't. Like, we don't have to just steal jobs from people and charge out the ass to get work because the work's there. So it just, and there's not a lot of...
There's not a benefit. There's no longevity in fucking people.
Not at all.
There's longevity in doing a deed for somebody, scratching a back. Let's take it back old school in that manner. Like, I still believe that there's room for I scratch your back, you scratch mine. That's an old way of doing things, but I refuse to believe that the world's not headed back to that place.
Right.
Because there's going to come a time where you're going to have to ask something from your neighbor. And you better goddamn hope that you were good to that neighbor.
All you need is a handshake and your word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your nutsack.
And with I'd say the majority of the customers that we have come across, that mentality has benefited us a lot. Very much. Yeah. And it just simply, well, don't worry, you don't have to pay me. Next time you need something, just give me a call. Like, or, it's super cheap and they're just incredibly grateful. Or even I can get out there today. Like, people are so grateful for that shit. And, then
I'd rather do that.
They pass your name along. That's all we need.
Make 1,000% profit. I'd rather do that. I'd rather feel good about myself when I went to lay down at home. You know what I mean?
I think part of the issue, though, is which I think I harp on this a lot, but I stand by it as one of the stupidest things to me is that the amount that people are paid hasn't changed in like 50 fucking years. It's insane.
And the baby boomers were fucking pissed off that they wanted, what, $10 or $15 an hour at McDonald's?
Yeah.
They were pissed at that. What do you mean? It's 2019. Go suck a dick.
Well, at McDonald's, I can see it. Because, I mean, if you can't get my order right,
I can agree
fuck
with
you.
You know what? I'm more than happy to pay for McDonald's workers to make $15 an hour, but get the order right and also increase everybody else's fucking income. Or how about you just decrease the cost of everything that we have to fucking buy, and you can leave our income where it is.
See, all that crap runs together. Because, I mean, the idea of, hey, let's raise the minimum wage, but then everybody has more money. So then things lose value. And then inflation happens. And they're like, oh, we can't stop inflation. You can fucking stop inflation.
Absolutely,
you just don't. Because you're saying to make too much goddamn money.
Yeah, yes. You stop inflation by stop increasing prices. Done.
But then you see like at Chick-fil-A, I think they make more than McDonald's people.
I can see
But they also bring in like a better quality of worker.
Right.
And they usually get your order right.
Every time.
Well,
and it's quick as shit.
And I think, too, if they meaning anybody who's working, felt like they were appreciated. They knew that their paycheck was going to relieve some stress from their life, knowing, okay, I can pay my fucking bills with this. People would actually give a fuck about their jobs, but people don't because they can't. Who the fuck?
You can't live on a McDonald's paycheck.
You can't live on
and the people
social worker's paycheck.
The people that complain
with
too
no
about
kids.
The people who complain about them making more money or something like that, or they oh shit, I had it. Never mind.
But then with like not being able to make it on your own and shit, that kind of. If that were to catch on, I mean, it would be nice. But I'm thinking from like a cultural perspective, if more people were able to live on their own, it could lead to a more like antisocial culture than we already are.
Right.
Because they're trying to push like the ideal, of like a man and a woman, or like a little community. Oh man, yeah, I've got like 2 or 3 roommates, to keep us socialized. I don't necessarily agree with it. Yeah. But it's just a perspective.
I think, though, it was like that back in the day whenever women weren't allowed to fucking work. A man could work and support his fucking family of 4 on his fucking paycheck alone.
Boomers were the first ladies to, the first generation of ladies to, like, make their own money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So... and people still, your family values were fucking through the roof. Like, they were very strong, and they might not have necessarily been right. I mean, but they were strong.
I start to wonder, were they? Or is that just the story that we've been told? Because, if the values and stuff were that strong, women would have voted sooner, and we wouldn't hate black people.
Right?
So,
and gay people and every other kind of person.
Well, they're a little too sassy for their own good.
No, they're not. They're perfectly sassy.
You're perfectly sassy the way you are, damn
sassy, y'all. It's awesome.
I wish I think that you should be able to support yourself. McDonald's paycheck, even if that's a 1-room apartment, a vehicle, all that, even on a McDonald's paycheck.
Hell yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, you can complain about them not making the order right, but like you said, you wouldn't give a shit. Like, I wouldn't if I worked at McDonald's, I wouldn't give a shit because I know that I'm not going anywhere with this. Like, this is going nowhere.
But then what about the idea of, like, dress for the job you want, not the one you have? So, like, perform as though you're making more money.
And you will.
You'll show your value, and then you move up. Because then if McDonald's was enough to where you could just live on your own and all that shit.
Nobody would strive.
Nobody would strive.
Yeah.
We'd just be a bunch of fat fucks.
Aren't we already?
Yeah, but do you want to make it worse?
I don't think it would make it worse at all.
Would it make it better?
No, I think it would be exactly like it is.
Damn it.
I do wish that the cost of living would go down and they would make it easier on people. And I don't know. Like,
I feel like that's trying to push people out of the market.
Huh?
That's everything's overpriced because they're trying to push people out.
Oh yeah.
Like people keep having kids, and everybody's so entitled, and they're like, "Oh, give me this! I want this! I deserve this!" Like, well, work for it. Be something worth all this shit. And if you won't, then have fun retreating to Mexico.
Right.
And the good thing about social media is you can pretend to be that. Like you know how easy it is to pretend like you're the shit and like you're on top. Before, I would have said everybody needs to start a company, and I think I did when I was on this. Technically, yes, everybody needs to start a company, but the shit is hard, and it's an insecure business. Like you're not, you know what I mean? Like every day I wake up like scared to shit. Like it's gonna be the day when the bottom drops out. Like it takes a special, and the fact that like products are more expensive, it pushes out somebody that wants to make a product and sell it because it has to be good enough to be able to charge what these other people are doing. And if you charge less, they're like, oh, fuck that. The bougie ass people won't want to buy it because it's not
too
overpriced.
cheap.
It's too cheap. But I'm here to tell you that fucking thing that we bought, right, that was $25 on Amazon was just as good as the thing at Walmart. And I know that because I bought a version of the one at Walmart.
Yeah.
It was just as good, if not better. And I got 2 of them for the price, for a fraction of the price. But it's hard for somebody small to make it nowadays.
Yeah,
like even with us, they view us as, oh, well, you're just doing it on the side. And so, no, I pay the fucking insurance. I'm a legit company.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
They don't understand that
when we tell people the price, because one electrical work it costs a lot of money. When we tell someone the price, they not always, but a lot of times. They say some shit to us about how much it is. Like,
and I'm less than all the other companies. We look.
Yeah.
Like, I worked for the companies. I quoted for the companies.
So man, go out there and compare prices and then get back to me.
Yeah, exactly.
They end up having their cousin that used to maybe do electric, but not really do it for like a case of beer, and then their shit blows up, and he's like, well.
And then they call you, and then, yes, we will definitely take this job.
But now it's more expensive.
It's just silly to me, though, because it's not cheap, but nonetheless, like you're getting what you're paying for. And I know it's hard for people whenever they're already struggling to live day to day or month to month, we'll say, because day to day is kind of dramatic. Who has $700 to pay for their electrical work that they need done? But at the end of the day, like we are a company. We might only be 2 people, but we are a company, and that's how you get started.
I will say though, but that's what I'm saying. For anybody starting wanting to start a company, like you really have to build your name, because if not, like it's going to take a long time to get. So many people have these names. We were looking at an advertisement isn't to get you now. It's to get you 10 years from now. Like they slowly put these advertisements over a 10-year period. And then when you go to buy something, you've had this ingrained that you wasn't paying attention to. And they said that people that don't pay attention to them are more susceptible to buy into the brand because they think they're going against the grain.
Right.
But these bigger companies can pay for all that advertisement. A smaller company can't. You got to start with a smaller base. And it's just hard. And people, they don't want to go with it. You know what I mean? They think that you should be like rock bottom prices.
Yeah.
But
if it's
I don't know.
Not damn near free, I don't want it.
I think people also want to try to barter with a smaller company.
Yeah.
It's like, a huge conglomerate. It's like, well, this is our price, and fuck you, we don't need you.
Hell
right.
yeah.
That's the way you have to do it, man. Because if you don't, they'll try to walk all
That's
over
exactly how we are. It's like, sorry, this is the price.
But I wouldn't say that it's for everybody. I wouldn't say it's for me, but we're trying to learn how to get there. You know what I mean? You're trying to learn and get there.
Better be for you. It's for me. I know that.
Look at this shit. Motherfucker.
I can't imagine being a small company that like sells a product.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I think
that would be fucking horrible. It would be so nerve wracking because it has to be. It has to stand out from what else is already out there. How can you? Because everything is already out there. Literally everything. So.
Well, I'm sure there's some stuff that like can be, whatever, improved or thought of. There's another thing, I'm sure of it, but you have to have a large amount of money to come up with that other thing. Who do you think has that money? Apple has that money.
Apple
Google
has that money.
These bigger companies have the ability to do that. smaller people, they're not giving us enough to where we could put some back and work on a dream. Like they're killing the American dream essentially for making everything so expensive. You're not able to come home. You're dog tired because you work all the fucking time trying to pay these bills for these bitch ass kids you had.
Right.
Like, so you don't have time or money to put into this ideal.
Well, I feel like people are also kind of evolving in what the American dream is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as a country,
Yes,
Definitely.
they are.
we tend to
Definitely.
want a lot more than we really need.
Yeah, buddy.
So everybody feels like they need to keep up with the Joneses
Yeah.
instead of
such a
just,
good- yeah.
oh, here's what I want personally. Here's what I need. Here's what I have. And here's
That's
what
a
I can
good
do.
point. That's a hell
Keeping
of a
up with
point.
the Joneses is so fucking stupid to me.
I
It's
do it,
something-
hey, but you do it unintentionally too, though. You don't, but me, like I'm that type of guy that's
You
like,
don't give a fuck.
yeah, we buy. I turned around and asked her today, we're buying the new bed and then buying the new laptop and buying the new truck. Mm-hmm. And something in the back of my mind was like, oh, it's not good enough for her. Like, even if it was good enough for me and I'm happy with it, like, I still question myself. Not even, because, like, what are my friends going to think? So, I'm not even that guy. But then you buy things like that and you're like, oh, well, it wasn't a 2011. Oh, well, it wasn't, like, the top of the line MacBook. It was the one right underneath. You know,
Right.
you
I
start
want to
thinking
give
that.
my baby the most superficially great things on the market.
Do you think, though, it's advertisements and the way that they have fed us media, do you think it's that ties into that keeping up with the Jones? They know that they can feed us that and that we'll buy into. I'm not that type of guy, but I turned around and asked her that today. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, we have an abundant amount. And I'm still thinking,
He
like,
said,
better.
Why can I not just be okay with something when we buy it? I said, I don't know. I
I'm
didn't even
always
have
look-
anything to offer.
I don't know, man.
I'm always
sorry.
looking for like what's wrong with it and stuff, but I
Yeah.
feel like I've been brainwashed in that manner because I'm that type of guy that's like, fuck it, dude, and then like live a boring life and stuff. Like, you made a fucking beautiful point. Like, we think we need all these things and you don't.
Yeah.
But
Not at all.
when I go to buy something that I really fucking loved it when I was there, I'm like, but when I got home, I'm like, oh, well, is it good enough? Like, do I want to show it to people? Like, fucking do I want to pick people up in the truck? You know,
Yeah.
is
Do
this
I
bed
wanna
good
pick-
enough for my wife? You know?
I think it's a culture of an assload of people being insecure and unwilling to pave their own way.
Yeah.
It's like whenever people find out that I don't have the internet at home,
Yeah.
the looks,
I
man.
know, dude.
It's like, what the fuck?
Probably the same looks like I get when I don't have a Facebook.
Yes.
People
Yeah.
are like, what do you do?
Yeah, what do you...
It's called a goddamn phone.
Yeah.
Like I talk to 4 people and I live with one of them.
Just because I don't watch Netflix all the time doesn't mean I don't do shit.
Oh, dude.
It's
Oh shit.
no, but that was a great fucking point, man. That was a great point. And I think
Knocking
that
it out of the park.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
how do we
That's
counteract that?
I don't know, man. That was a good
Kill them. Kill everyone.
That's what
Yeah.
I think too. Like that's what I've been fighting with, and then like starting the company and stuff, thinking I'm not good enough. I've been fighting with that, keeping up with people, and then looking at people's judgments. Like, you know, they believe I'm gonna fail. They believe, well, he'll be back to the company. Like it's okay, or they, you know, it's when I would say like the company's that way. Every product I buy is that way. And I've been trying to like meditate and get back, but then you have that inner voice. And I think that's where the brainwashing, I don't know what in the ads or whatever does that, but I feel like that you've been brainwashed to believe that you need all these consumer products.
I think too, which I don't know, I'm not going to speak for you, but I feel like with the stuff that we've bought recently, they've been larger purchases.
Yeah.
It's not like going to the store and buying a new shirt.
Yeah,
It's
so I judge it more
a
harshly.
$16,000 vehicle, or you know,
Yeah.
it's big
Right.
shit.
That
And
could
that
be stressful.
yeah, I could definitely see that. And then of course having your own company. So
It's like, was this a good idea?
yeah,
Plays over and
because
over.
now I am solely like we are dependent on me working and bringing money into the company.
Right.
So I could understand that, but I guess really you're more concerned about is it good enough for me more
Yeah.
than anything.
Pretty much all mine are, is it good enough for her? Or like, when people are around us, how's she going to feel about the thing that or we're in, or we're sleeping, whatever.
Shit.
But that's a true statement. I
I'll
don't know how
drive
that
by
works
like
out.
this, like I don't give a fuck.
No, but I don't know how you counteract that. I guess, you detach yourself like I've done with, or try to do more and more with Facebook. And when I was looking through like the App Store, right? So instead of going and getting like the games or the things that distract you, I've found out that there's so many free apps to like discover and build and learning apps and stuff to better yourself. Like always like try to better one up the advertisements, one up the companies and the consumer products, one up them. Like work on you.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been trying to do is like work on me. Like I don't feel like I'm there yet. Like, I'll get there. But making those steps to work on you and you don't need any exterior to make you look better. You need to be better on the inside, and then you'll look better on the outside.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Most definitely.
The tension.
I'm getting
That's sublime,
shit,
right?
Boy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's
dog.
getting harder. I'd like to hold her.
Let's see.
Head underwater.
All right, so the boomers, they were the generation that required seat belts.
Interesting.
Road trip culture. They drive more than any generation. Tim Berners-Lee, born in 1955, created software language that made web pages possible. They created personal computers.
Damn.
They ushered in watching TV.
Yeah.
They launched Saturday Night Live. Bill
Yeah.
Murray.
Hell yes.
The Stonewall riots, 1969. It's historically viewed as like essentially the first gay pride parade.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
There's
that.
the women's lib movement in the late 60s, which I think is their biggest downfall.
Look, they fucking hate women.
Ooh, here we go. San Diego State University found in 2012 that boomers in their youth were considerably more committed to environmental activism than Gen X or millennials.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Which seems weird that they wouldn't be more behind science now.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I think that they are less about science because Christianity was such a big part of the social structure at that time.
Yeah.
And so, you can't possibly believe in both of those things at
No.
the same time. So
You think it's why that guy argued with me about there being other galaxies?
Yes.
He's like, God didn't put that in the Bible.
Yeah.
Another guy said,
Dude,
another,
I'd like to
stupid
put
can you
a
be?
bullet in this guy's face.
Oh,
another
yeah.
Christian I was talking about we were talking about global warming, and he said that the Bible says nothing about global warming killing him, so it can't be true. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot.
So it's
Well,
definitely going to be fire or water.
Well, it
that he
also doesn't
dies
say
from.
anything about iPhones. but
I know, dude.
Here we are.
Does
Dude,
it not though?
That's
Doesn't it?
that's
go.
exactly what I don't think I said the iPhone thing, but I did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Well, they don't say anything about computers, but they
But
still
hold on.
fucking exist.
They still exist. So I got in the same guy. I got in an argument with him about the iPhone, and that we can any time of the day you can talk to somebody around the world face to face, right? Well, one of the things in the book of Revelations is that was one sign that we're headed for the what is it called? You're headed for
The end times.
end
The
times.
apocalypse.
Apocalypse. That's the word. it's looking
Yeah.
for. But when I can see you face to face anywhere in the world at one time, something like that. You'll have to look it up. But
Well, it makes sense though that it kind of makes me think that humanity has gone through this cycle before.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
technology was a thing before, and then once they got to that point, that's when it went south.
It went down.
But the fact that the Holocaust isn't in the Bible
right.
Is it
justifies
though?
being
Isn't
a
it though?
denier.
Isn't it?
Maybe it
though?
was the Holocaust that I said. Whatever it was. It was fucking dramatic, as my example was. Like,
Yeah.
come on, dude. So fucking stupid. Kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass, Christians.
So what other wild shit is in the Bible, Adam?
I don't, man. There, I didn't read it.
The iPhones, the Holocaust.
The joy. I
Let's
don't
talk about Hugh Grant.
the something about the holy
Absolutely.
people being
Yeah.
back, or the Jews being back in the Holy Land. That's another one. But they have to build what's that? It's not a mosque. They don't call them mosque. It's whatever, that temple. But they can't build it.
Synagogue.
Synagogue,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they can't build it because there's another temple in the way or a mosque in the way or
synagogue you.
And that's about to happen. Anyway, I think you're right, though. I think we've been here before.
Yeah.
Like the Egyptians, and they have other ones like the Aztecs, so they really don't know where they went. They're just like, one day they disappeared, right?
Yeah.
And I think that we've been in this situation before. Like, I think that there is an end time coming, and I think your politicians and all that, they know that. Like, they know they can fuck shit up and just run rampant because it's gonna end. Who the fuck cares?
Man, I was listening to something, I forget what the fuck it was. It was talking about like ancient cultures, and they found a hole where they were all like dressed up in their garments and shit. Mm-hmm. And at the end of like some kind of planetary cycle or whatever, the king and all of his people would just go into this hole and be buried alive.
Damn.
To like act out the whole thing. It's like, all right, it's the end.
It's the end.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh,
So good times.
Yeah. We need to be a part of that. That's called a cult. If you were wondering.
That's definitely the first known cult.
Yeah.
No, man, that was another episode of Wildly Uninteresting. We didn't shit on boomers too much. We kind of gave you the devil's advocate version of shitting on boomers. So hope you enjoyed that.
Well, they are annoying. They should drink less Coors Light.
That's fucking for sure.
Michelob.
Natty Ice.
I hope that we have, I guess, gotten across that, at least me personally, I don't blame them strictly for the way that things are.
No. They could have done better.
Certainly not helping.
Definitely not helping. But, you know, who the fuck is?
They did give us the internet. So.
Hell yes. Thank you for that. So,
and the missionary
but also
position.
damn them.
Yeah, so stop fucking shitting on it because you did this.
Yeah.
Well, that was another episode. Like, share, comment, hit the notification. Blah, 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 blah. Let us know what we can do better. Please.
HPV stands for harpoon vagina.
Yeah.
Scat.
What are we eating today? What's on the menu